Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Bondage. This is a black web series, which is created by Mr. Carlton T. Clay for Victory Productions Network, or VPN. We are on season 2, episode 6, and it is entitled Change is Coming. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel if you are new. And you can leave your comments below. All right, so this is a heavy episode. Heavy episode. So, of course, we know that Bond and Roxanne's mom has passed away. So, Bond gets this vision of his mom. And she talks with him a little bit about just living in the moment and not letting a second go by without living. She ends up leaving him, and we go back to present time where Roxanne has made it to the hospital. Roxanne's like, "What is going on? Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, it's Mama." And she's like, "Well, what's up? What's going on with Mama? Mama's gone." No, it can't be. No, what's going on? No, Mama's gone. Now, Nelson, you did that with all the emotions and crying, the high-pitched voice of losing a mom. I did get emotional, but I kind of get emotional over anything to do with loss like that. But you and Roxanne, I know that the actress, they call her Bird, but Lord, y'all did that scene, and I felt the emotions in that scene. Oh God. But it was really great. It was really great cinema and great acting to actually see that. We switch over to a scene where Bond is talking with the counselor that he was speaking with in group beforehand, and the counselor's trying to comfort him. Jackie comes in, drunk, and berates him and exposes that Bond has been sleeping with her mom. The counselor's like, I want to see, obviously you're drunk. Let me see if I can help you. She said, I don't want any help. And then tells Bond, I hate you. And the counselor's still trying to say, okay, let me see what we can do here. And then she basically says, get off of me and leave me alone. And she leaves the counseling building. Winston comes home to Anita, and he lets her know that Bond's mom has passed away, and she died on the table. Her heart gave out and couldn't really stand the surgery. Look, Mama done told y'all in a few episodes ago that she was tired. Unfortunately, a lot of our loved ones will try to hang on to people that are really saying, I'm done. And I hate to say it this way, but we can get kind of selfish and try to keep people here that really can't handle the extra strain that you're putting on their bodies and mentally and energy. And they really have made peace within themselves, and they're ready to go. For Bond to get all that money and still lose his mama, and she passed away on the table. I know that this is the reaction because I didn't see it in this episode, but I think I'd be quite pissed at Winston right now, because it's like, wait a minute, I done paid all this money, and you mean to tell me that she was really too weak to have the surgery, and this whole experimental drug didn't even work? No, sir. But he did sign up for it, for this miracle drug, and that's kind of the consequence of research and also practicing medicine and doing an experimental drug can actually do to you. Winston does say, I'm surprised that Jackie wasn't at the hospital. Have you heard from her? And she said, no, but they are grown, so let them handle it. Then all of a sudden, Anita approaches Winston, and she's ready to have sex. He's kind of like, because the sex is out of the blue. And I just told you that I just gave you devastating news. And it is affecting him also as a doctor. But anyway, she said, let Mama help you out. And he does. All right, so Ren, he's back at home and he's having a nightmare where he's seeing his mom being shot after doing all that she was doing to him. He yells and wakes up out of his sleep, and he calls someone to meet him at his office. Um, so Bond and Roxanne, they meet up. It looks like it's at their mom's home. Roxanne was like, I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't even know that she had cancer. And Bond was like, you could have if you would answer the phone. Da 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 da. Because she's like, nobody told me. Blah 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 blah. Roxanne ends up confessing that she dropped out of school. She basically says, I couldn't cut it. Bond is upset about it. She says that she's the first Bond to actually, she's the smart one, and she's the first one to go to college. And it was just too much pressure on her. I am definitely understanding, and it's very understandable in regards to what she was going through. I think just avoiding your family just made things worse, and you missed out on some moments. And later on this episode, it really feels like that there's just misplaced anger for no reason. I mean, she has a reason, but it's not a good reason. Then she gets up and goes after talking with Bond. Back at Winston and Anita's, they are both having sex, and she ends up calling out Bond's name. Mood killer, mood killer, mood killer. Winston gets up immediately. Like, why are you calling your daughter's boyfriend's name? She just said it was a slip of the tongue. And Winston said, BS. You know what you were doing. What's going on here? And she said, well, I think that he was just on my mind. You had just told me about his mom and all that. You have to trust me, Winston. I was like, Winston, Jackie been telling you about this woman, not so much as cheating, but how manipulative she is. Come on. But anyways, he's kind of confused at the time, and he says that he's got to go. Okay, so the person that we find out that Ren called was Ace. He comes to the office. They catch up a little bit. Of course, Ace is asking what's going on with the leg. He's like, basically, just don't worry about it. Ace talks about Tawny, that we actually hooked up, and Ren congratulated him. He also says that Rodney showed up. And then the new guy shows up, and they have this meeting. Ren lets them know that Madam has retired, and now I'm going to be running this. They did congratulate him. Ren says, hey, Ace, the new guy, and Bond are going to be the main guys of this business. You're the ones that are going to pull in. You guys pull in the most, which I don't understand how the new guy is pulling in the most since we only seen him with one customer. But hey, that's neither here or there. I don't know what the books say. I'm not in accounting. I'm not in accounts payable or accounts receivable at this escorting business. But hey, he also put the responsibility that, hey, you are the three main guys, and I need you to help the others to adjust to what we have going on here. And they basically said, no problem. All right, so Winston comes by Jackie's home. Of course, she's drinking, and he's like so confused as to what's really going on. And she lets it be known that Anita has been effing her boyfriend. And then she said, ex-boyfriend. And then she's like, oh, you didn't know? She really wasn't going to tell you. I mean, it would have been better if... I don't even know why Anita lied there. Like, you didn't put two and two together that Jackie wasn't going to tell? Like, you think you hold all the cards because you didn't sign a prenup, but you don't think nobody's going to tell? That's quite arrogant of you. Or at least Jackie wasn't going to tell. But then she says, I caught them in her bathroom. And then all of a sudden things switch and she's willing to have sex with Winston. Winston says, I gotta go. And he leaves. Jackie ends up calling someone and says that she needs to see them now. Ace goes to Tony's place and he sees that everything is gone. He tries to call her and the number has been disconnected. So I wonder what happened between this whole Rodney situation and Ace and Tawny. Jackie, who is drunk, welcomes in the ex. That's the one that she called. And she immediately pulls him in and starts kissing him. And he said, are you drunk? Are you drinking? Um, and she said, yes. And I don't need 2,100 questions or 21,000 questions. Let's just do what we came here to do. Or let's just do what needs to be done. And of course, they do as far as having sex. So the next thing we find a dead corpse on the floor. And what that is the corpse of the husband that was Bond's client that wanted to watch him have sex with his wife. He's bleeding from his head, and it looks like he's unalived. And one of the detectives says, not another one. So it looks like there's some type of murdering spree that's happening, I guess, within the escorting business. I don't know, but it looks like it's there. And they got to get to the bottom of it. So Winston, he is parked outside of Bond's home, kind of hiding, not in the bushes, but at least where he can see who's coming in and out of the house. Bond is walking down the street. I need to know why Bond is walking anyways. Because Bond makes a ton of money. So how come you ain't driving someplace? Don't be a Tariq on Power Ghost. No. No, I've just noticed that he was doing that. Possibly he was just taking a walk, though. So then he pulls a gun, Winston, out of his glove department and sees Bond walking down the street into his home. And you can tell that he's upset, and it looks like he's ready to use it. So Bond gets into the house, and he is still devastated. He pulls out the sobriety coin that Jackie gave him, and he ends up tossing it, basically like, what's the point? It didn't work. Then he undresses and goes to the shower, and there he masturbates. In so many ways, sex is used to drown out the noise, to be a distraction, to be a comfort, and that was his way of trying to down the noise that's inside of him from his mother, losing Jackie, probably still being within the business, and that's how he released. So Jackie and the ex, they still going at it, and the ex really thinks that he's putting it down, and Jackie's just laying there like a shell. And while he got his eyes closed, she's looking at him. It's like, okay, ex, you really think you got it going on? Okay, so we are back with the detectives, and now we meet the lady that was serviced by Bond with the husband, and she's giving a description of who could be a possible suspect. She's describing him as the title name a stenographer, a one that draws things for the police. I think that's what it's called, but possibly I'm wrong. So they do get the description, and we see that it is a description of Bond. The customer ends up saying, like, look, we were having fun, da 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 da, and then, or did the detective tell the new guy? However, she gave the description. So he calls the new guy that we find out is an undercover detective within the escort organization. So that's why he's been around. Somehow he became buddy right quick with Ren, but he is there to take down the resort. I wonder how that's going to be if anybody finds out. But he does. The detective tells the new guy, the wife said that they did go to an escorting service, have a little fun. She leaves the room and comes back and finds her husband dead. Of course, don't be no fool. Like, something else is going on here. So Bond, Roxanne, and Ren. Bond sees Roxanne. It looks like it's at her mother's home, and he tries to comfort her. She gets up and resists whatever he's got going on and goes over to Ren to get a hug and comfort. And I think they kissed. Bond sees that after Roxanne goes out of the room. Like, what is this? And Ren says, we're together, and she's been staying with me. So you mean this whole time you knew about her dropping out of school and you didn't tell me? And he said, yes. Just like you're not telling your family about being in this business. Bond basically says, look, I want out after I pay you back. And Ren says, you are my highest, you bring in the most revenue. There's no way that I'm going to lose you. He makes a threat after Bond puts his hands on him. Like, Roxanne just buried her mother, and I would hate for Roxanne to have to know what it's like to bury her brother right after burying her mother. Ren says that you will keep working for me, or I will force Roxanne. I was like, ooh, that's some sinister stuff going on there. And then he announces that a change is coming, and he walks out the door. There's a different confidence and cockiness on Ren. I really love the shift that we saw from episode 5 into 6 with Lorenzo's character. It's like he's put on the mantle, put everything that possesses that position with the escorting business. Now that he's in charge, it does not have to be bullied and abused by his mother, but it looks like he's going to turn right into the abusive person that his mother is. That's quite crazy that you've been spending all this time with Roxanne, and then now you're ready to trick her out if Bond doesn't comply. That's the end of the season. Kudos to Mr. Nelson Gray. I think overall of the season, Ace's character is the MVP. Nelson, you brought it home for this episode. I loved it. I loved what you gave to us. I appreciate this series. I appreciate Mr. Carlton Clay. I appreciate all the actors and everyone involved. This is really good. Season 3, I will get on pretty soon. I'm going to be taking a little break. I'm going to be covering another series in a couple weeks. Probably a week. I think it's like a week or so from now. But anyways, there'll be a little short pause, and we'll be right back with another series. And then I'll hop right back on with Bondage Season 3. I believe Season 4 will be coming out pretty soon too, so I want to make sure that I get that done and all that good stuff so that we can be prepared for Season 4 where I can get a live review. All right. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel. And until the next one, peace.